What's up, boys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the pros and cons of each marketing model and also which one is best fit for you. I think a lot of you guys need to know what marketing model you should be doing depending on your budget, how much time you have, and what your goals are inside of this business. So just allow me to go over each and every one of them. If I didn't mention your marketing model that you are looking into, chances are I don't recommend it at all. I would never recommend driving for dollars. I never recommend going door to door. I never recommend doing mailers. I never recommend any of that shit. That's very, very niche, and I would only recommend it in specific use cases. For everybody looking to do virtual wholesaling, these are the only 5 marketing models I would ever even recommend. First, I'm going to be starting with SMS, and I'm going to be going over the pros and cons. So what SMS is it's essentially just sending a text blast out to a list of people. So you would pull your data from a website like Titanskip or Deal Machine or something like that, and then from there you would upload it to a software like Go High Level that automatically does the texting for you. You're not manually sending the texts. The pros of this is it's very beginner friendly. It is the lowest cost per deal. It is much better than cold calling. It's very effective and it's easy to set up. The cons are it's not easily scalable past 3 to 4 deals a month, so you can't really scale this up too much. It's very hard to outsource because of the lead quality. It's very labor intensive and it has low quality leads. What I mean by it being very hard to outsource is you're not going to be able to hire an acquisitions rep and then just give them a bunch of shitty leads, because what that's going to do is it's going to lead to burnout. If an acquisitions rep sits there for 3 weeks working the worst quality leads of all time, they're just going to leave. They're not going to work with you. So it's hard to scale and it's hard to find people who genuinely want to sit there and work SMS leads, other than, of course, the wholesaler who owns the business, because you're getting 100% of your deal. So you have a lot more reward to working these leads. So who is SMS for? Newer wholesalers, wholesalers looking to build up capital and keep their margins high, wholesalers who have more time on their hands to deal with the more labor, and wholesalers that have a low budget overall. I always recommend SMS for people who have under $3K a month to spend, simply because it is the cheapest way you're going to close your first deal. And it'll allow you to close your first deal and then rebound the profits into a better source of marketing. Tips for this is don't overpay with Smarter Contact or any other software. Use Go High Level. For me, I personally use a custom Go High Level build out, and I give that custom Go High Level build out to only all of our students. So that high level build out allows us to send texts out less than 1 cent per text. Also has no opt-out language, no restrictions, and it also has a fully built-in CRM. So my texting might look a little bit different than yours, but at the end of the day, just make sure you're not overpaying for this shit. The whole point of texting is for it to be super cheap. So if you're overpaying for it, you're kind of defeating the purpose. You might as well do something better with your marketing dollars. The next step would be hiring VAs. The pros of this is if gone through an agency, it is the easiest setup in the world. It's very tried and true. It's easily scalable, and you get a good cost per deal on average. The cons is it is expensive to start. You need more than 3K a month. It is hard to find good agencies, and it's hard to train VAs in-house. So who is hiring VAs for? Wholesalers with more than 3K a month marketing budget looking to scale up. So you need to hire at least 3 to 5 VAs at a time to really make sure you get enough volume in. Because if you try and start VAs with 2 callers or 1 caller, you're just not going to be putting in enough volume for it to even make sense to run it all. You need to have at least 3 VAs running at one time. If you're trying to run a business with only 1 VA worth of leads, you're probably finding yourself not getting enough lead flow. And yeah, these are going to be better quality leads. And what I mean by more filtering is they have a point of contact, before you are actually outreaching to them. So all of the initial details that you would need to know are already pre-qualified. So you don't have to worry about price, condition, motivation, timeline. Your VA already touches on that. So if you have less time in your day and you just want to spend your day, your day's work, mainly just closing, then you should probably hire VAs, because you're just going to be able to spend all of your time working good quality leads that are already filtered. And tips, if you have time on your hands, go with hiring VAs in-house on sites like Fiverr. Treat the interview serious. Make sure you only hire talented individuals. Mainly what you want to be looking for is if they sound English or if they sound really heavily, with an accent. If they have a very heavy accent, you probably don't want to go with them, because it's going to lead to a lower conversion. Also, if you train them in-house, you're going to have to supply a dialer. So make sure you obviously do your research on which dialers are good. I personally recommend either Call Tools or Ready Mode. I've heard some people have some issues with Call Tools recently, so I'd probably recommend Ready Mode. So now I'm getting into the inbound sources of marketing. So I'm going to be going over Facebook. This is also known as running meta ads, but we're not going to be targeting Instagram because our target demographic is mainly going to be found on Facebook. When you're targeting older people, you have to remember they're older people, so they're not going to be using Instagram. We only really want to be putting our ad creatives on Facebook. And also, one thing you want to realize is that yes, they are inbound leads, but they're going to be lower intent inbound leads than Google. So yeah, they're going to be cheaper, but also you got to think, like when you're scrolling on your phone, let's say, and you see an ad comes up and it says, do you want to sell your house? You're like, okay, give me an offer. I'll just, fill out this form and see what happens. Most of the time, those people aren't too high intent. So every couple of leads, you're going to get one bullshitter lead. With something like Google inbound leads, though, it's a lot more filtered. You have to go through a lot more steps. You have to search up how can I sell my house, click on the link, fill out the form. There's a lot more steps involved. The pros to Facebook is you have very high volume inbound lead flow. People come to you to sell. So this is the cheapest variant of inbound marketing. You get low cost per lead, which leads to a lower cost per deal, and it is very scalable. The cons, it is not the most predictable. You have to be very broad, and it is a lot of labor because you have a ton of lead flow. So with Facebook, you could close a deal every $2,000. You could close a deal every $3,000. So one thing with Facebook, it's very easy for people to refill out forms. So most of the time, the leads that you're working are also going to be being worked by other wholesalers, because once you fill out a form on Facebook, it's going to suggest you multiple ads related to that form that you filled out. So let's say you're scrolling on Facebook and you get an ad that says buy this Milwaukee tool. If you click on the link for that Milwaukee tool, now over the next 3 to 4 days, you're going to get spammed with ads from Milwaukee tools because you actually, looked into that exact ad. So who are running Facebook ads for? Wholesalers with 5 to 10K a month to spend. Wholesalers looking to delegate even easier. With inbound leads, it's very easy to delegate. Wholesalers looking to branch into inbound leads without spending a fortune. My tips for you guys, if you're running your own campaigns, is don't niche down too much. It's going to put your cost per lead too high, and lead quality will not reflect. Needs to be top 100 counties plus, so you need to be very broad, so you need to make sure you can find buyers anywhere. Also, keep the ad creative simple. If you have no experience running ads at all, hire a mentor or hire a coach or hire an agency to handle that for you. You do not want to be wasting your ad spend if you don't know what you're doing. I'd rather spend $5,000 on someone teaching me how to run Facebook ads rather than testing with $5,000 and just burning my money away and not knowing the skill of how to run Facebook ads. Next, we're getting into Google, also known as PPC marketing. Essentially what this is it's SEO based. So if you search up how do I sell my house on Google, the top 3 results, you're paying for the placement at the top where it says sponsored. And basically people will search up how do I sell my house, click on your link, fill out your form, and the lead will be put into your CRM. The pros with this is it's very low labor because it's a lot lower lead flow. It's very, very high quality leads. It can be niched down. It's very trackable and it's very scalable. The cons to this is it's expensive. There's a very expensive barrier to entry, so you need to be closing deals before you get into this. It's hard to set up yourself, and it is advanced, so you do have to hire an agency for something like this. Who are running Google ads for? Wholesalers with 10K plus per month to spend. Wholesalers looking to blow past 10 plus deals a month. Wholesalers looking to run their own business and begin managing a sales team rather than being hands-on. So if you're somebody who's currently closing 5 deals a month, making $50,000 a month, it might make more sense for you to start stepping away from the business and start scaling a model like Google ads, because it's going to be a lot lower lead flow. So you can hire a good closer and put them on commission, and they're going to be able to make a sustainable living while also scaling your business for you. The tips for this is cost per lead should fall between $75 to $300 depending on location settings. Make sure you have a good system in place and that a good closer is working the leads. There's less room for error on the closing side because lead flow is lower, but lead quality is much higher. So if you have a bad closer and they keep fucking up the leads, they don't have much room for error because they don't have 100 leads coming in a day. They only have maybe 1 or 2. So you have to really make sure the person handling those leads is qualified to do so, because if not, you're just going to waste a lot of money. Next, we're going to be getting into paper leads, so sites like iSpeed to Lead, Property Leads, all those type of paper lead sites. The pros are it's very easy to set up. You literally just log into a website, put money in, and buy leads. It is high quality leads because they're just Google leads. They're just being sold individually, so you don't have to set up a campaign or anything like that. The cons is you have to make sure the agency is good. It's super expensive and low predictability. So why would you buy leads? For me, the short answer is I would never recommend to buy leads at all. I personally spent $10,000 on PPL testing. No conversion at all. Didn't make a single dime back. And that's just because I think it's a mix of like luck. Like you have to be lucky to buy the right leads. Also, you have to realize that there's a layer of like filtering. So if the lead company is shady, they're going to be like cherry picking out the good leads and just closing them themselves, which is kind of sketchy. I don't like people touching my leads simply because you can't really tell if someone's like filtering out the good ones and selling you the shitty ones. So in my mind, I would rather just run the campaigns, go through the headache of, having to do that all myself, just so I know that the leads are generated by me and only being worked by me. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions on any of this, drop them down below. Also, there is a link in the bio to work with us directly one-to-one where we will decipher the marketing plan and set it all up for you so you don't have to lift a finger. We also set up all of the systems, automations, and do basically everything for you so that you can either get to closing your first deal as soon as possible or scaling up as soon as possible. So if you're interested in working with us, fill out the form down below to work with me and Hunter. And other than that, leave a like, leave a sub, and I'll see you guys in the next video.